Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Disney Animation losing to Universal again. Now The Wrap has an article on it. We've got Scott Mendelson, who I thought wrote for Forbes. Apparently writes for multiple websites.
Well, they all write for multiple websites.
Carpetbagging journo. Scott Mendelson actually supporting a lot of what we said. And he said that Disney is running out of steam. Disney has its back up against the wall. They don't have anything in the pipeline that could even approach Minions or Super Mario.
Yeah, Mario's gonna destroy.
Yeah, Mario's gonna Koopa stomp.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse here. And again, this is just more indication that Disney is not what it once was. Even if Bob Iger, by some miracle, came in today and said, let's greenlight a whole bunch of really awesome animated movies, it's going to take 5, 6, 7 years for them to actually hit theaters.
Yeah, the earliest 2 or 3.
Yeah, so let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 282, almost 283,000 subs.
Yay!
Thank you so much for the support. Check us out on piratesandprincesses.net for more objective Disney news. And yeah, let's talk about this because everybody's getting in on that dismal Disney action these days. It's not just us.
Oh, it's cool now.
It's cool now.
But we're still the bad guys.
We're still the
Even
bad
when
guys.
it's cool, we're still the ones that are jerks.
Coming from The Wrap, how Disney Animation lost the box office crown to Universal for 3 straight years with no turnaround in sight.
Yeah, I agree completely. That's what we've been saying. And even the CEO of NBC Universal, Jeff Shell, was like, hey, we're kicking Disney's butt.
Yeah. So we did a video on that the other day, but this just shows how bad it actually is. Disney actually has been striking out all over the place. A lot of people thinking that Disney Animation is just for Disney Plus.
Right.
And when they release it in the theaters, if it's not a Frozen movie, it doesn't do very well.
Well, Pixar Animation at least is just for Disney Plus lately.
So they said Disney was once the undisputed kid.
It's disputed now.
It's disputed now. Disney was once the undisputed
It's 40 in there.
king of animated movies. They've lost the box office to Universal Pictures and also to DreamWorks. Onward opened to a disappointing $39 million in March 2020.
Well, to be fair, though, the pandemic started around then, so I'll give them that. But even with it going to Disney Plus, it did not do very well.
No, it did not. Strange World barely cracked $25 million in the first 12 days of domestic release.
It's bad.
Meanwhile, during that same period, so they'll say, oh, it's a pandemic. During the same period, with the same burdens of COVID and on a much lower production budget, Universal's combined theatrical output from Illumination and DreamWorks have earned $2.06 billion worldwide from a series of animated hits.
That's right, Trolls World Tour.
Yeah, Trolls World Tour, The Croods, 2, Spirit Untamed,
Spirit
Boss
Untamed
Baby.
has lots of toys, too, toy tie-ins.
Spirit Untamed, Boss Baby, Sing 2, Bad Guys. Yeah, The Bad Guys was actually...
Everybody said it was really good.
Pinky Boo watched it. We didn't watch it. Minions, Rise of Gru. NBC Universal CEO Jeff Shell on Monday trumpeted his studio's achievement.
Well, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I honestly think that we're not only challenging Disney Animation, but I would take our animation business over theirs right now. Yeah,
I think most people are. That's the proof is in the pudding.
We are back to where Disney was back in the late 70s, early 80s, when they needed a renaissance because they had a brain drain. All their top animators left. Don Bluth was eating their lunch. And now we're right back to where we were. Where basically everybody but Disney is producing animated movies that are making tons and tons of money.
And Disney was the gold standard, and they're not even, I don't even know what metal would they be now. As copper's more valuable.
Tin.
Tin standard.
The tin standard. So they said that the contrast in box office performance has been stark. Disney's Encanto earned 1/3 less in late 2021 and early 2022 than Sing 2.
And now, did they release Sing 2 on a streaming service? Because Encanto wasn't it released like around the same? It was kind of released online, was it?
It was a couple weeks. I
Yeah,
think, from the theater to
they did it in the theater, and then it wasn't long after they put it on Disney Plus. That's part of the problem too. They're putting things on Disney Plus very soon after the theatrical release, so it doesn't even have time to have a full theatrical release.
Lightyear eventually earned less than both of the Universal animated films from the spring and summer.
Well, you know why? Because the Universal movies were actually based on the stuff they came. Well, not Bad Guys, but Minions was actually like based on Minions.
Yeah, it was based on
And they
Minions.
didn't like replace everybody for no reason.
Disney can't even blame pandemic conditions for the deficit since every studio faced the same issues with families reluctant to return to theaters and hybrid theatrical streaming releases. Disney's Raya, I forgot so many of these movies existed. Raya and the Last Dragon grossed under $160 million in 2021, but The Croods did 216 million. I forgot the Croods even had a sequel.
I mean, the Croods got a
Croods.
part 2, and it beat Raya and the Last Dragon.
Paw Patrol earned 145
What's
million.
Paw Patrol? Of course
Paw
it did.
Patrol earned 145 million in theaters while concurrently being available for free.
That's true.
On Paramount Plus.
It was.
I mean, that's how effing
But Paw
dire
Patrol, of
this
course,
is.
earned that much money. It's Paw Patrol.
So they're blaming their streaming. We talked about that. They said that Bob Chapek was willing to trade box office revenue for streaming revenue for Soul, Luca, and Turning Red. So they said Universal's animated titles are all theatrical propositions, and that's really clear to the consumer. They said an individual with knowledge of the animation space told The Wrap, Disney has muddied the brand so the consumer doesn't know what film is going where.
I agree with that. Because when you think Universal, they had some streaming, but you mostly thought theatrical. Where Disney, it was like, oh, it's just going to be on streaming. Even if it wasn't, it was going to be on streaming soon after.
Yeah. Every major studio had to readjust due to the COVID-19 pandemic, with Sony and Paramount leasing or selling many theatrically intended films to streaming platforms, and Warner Brothers Project Popcorn offering the studio's entire 2021 theatrical slate in theaters and on HBO Max simultaneously. That was a bad move. So they said now they've got, they've gone back to theaters with Spider-Man. Wall Street was judging these companies based on streaming subscriptions. It made sense to drop top movies on the service. But now that Wall Street has reverted to judging the bottom line.
Because they didn't make money?
What?
We weren't making money?
We weren't making money.
That's what happens when you don't make money. And Wall Street's all about making money. What did you think was going to happen?
There's no such incentive to undercut theatrical and considerable post-theatrical revenue opportunities for the sake of subscription.
I mean, they all went with streaming because theatrical and all the stuff around it were impacted by the pandemic. But even when they were to release it in the theaters, they were releasing it on streaming at the same time. So it did, impact everyone. And Wall Street was banking on it then when everybody was in their houses. And then we had record, like, how much did Netflix stock go up to, and all these stocks went shooting through the roof if it was streaming.
Oh, yeah.
But they've come plummeting down because people went back to work. They left their house again. They canceled their streaming services. Plus, they keep raising the prices of streaming services so much, people are dropping them because they can't keep paying for them because they're too expensive. And now we're going into recession.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot going on here.
You can watch us for free.
You can watch us for free, but yeah, they're talking about Disney's empty cupboard of franchises.
Agree with that too.
They're like, there's just not much going on.
They don't have much going on.
Don't have
and
much
what they
going on.
did have, they just are taking it, making live action movies of, and that was Iger. They're just live actioning everything that they had that was animated instead of focusing on new animation.
When they have major hits, they're sequels, but they said Lightyear whiffed at the box. Are we allowed to admit that? Is that being a bigot if you admit that Lightyear didn't do very well?
And it wasn't because of the two women in the relationship. It was like literally like a few seconds of the film.
It wasn't a Toy Story movie. It wasn't the Buzz Lightyear from the Toy Story movies. It was not Buzz Lightyear.
It didn't
Star
have Tim
Command.
Allen.
No.
Yeah, that had more to do with it than anything else. I mean, people are just tired of Toy Story too.
Yeah.
Also, not as in two.
Yeah, so there's a lot here. They said Disney's struggling with non-sequel animated features because it's partially a case of Disney arriving late to an in-progress problem.
Mm-hmm.
Animation may become beholden to established franchises like Despicable Me, Spider-Man, Mario. No, I think it's Disney used to innovate, and people will go see an innovative movie. They will go see a good movie. I mean, before Frozen 2, we had Frozen 1.
Well,
so,
yeah, no,
I mean,
and Strange World, it had a good premise. I mean, but they did not really advertise it until right before it opened. And let's be honest, they led with certain things, and people are contrary to the narrative that Twitter wants to tell you. Most people don't want to go to a movie with their kids to have their kids taught about identity politics. They just don't. I mean, whether you might be a parent who thinks it's fine. I mean, personally, I don't get too upset about it, but I understand a lot of people do.
So yeah, Disney's got they've got Elementals coming from Pixar, which
Everybody's like, it's just was it with the Fire Boy and Water Girl?
Yeah, and Avatar, and they've got Wish coming out next year. They said Universal though has Despicable Me 4, Super Mario Brothers, and Trolls 3.
Yeah. Those are all gonna do well. There's no question.
That's not good, right? But then here's somebody from Disney defended the animation slate. Of course they did.
At least they're doing something new, though.
Yeah, both Walt Disney Animation Studios and Pixar definitely take time to produce between sequels, but in doing so, it allows new IP to be generated while also releasing sequels to well-established and successful films.
That's not untrue. I mean, they are at least. I mean, Wish is new. Strange World was new. Elementals is new, but looks like it's ripped off of something else.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying, hey, Cars, Frozen, Incredibles, they were all new IP. I'm like, yes, during a different era. when you guys actually had originality.
And they didn't have as much competition.
They did not have as much competition. I mean, now Netflix is eating their lunch too. You've got Apple Plus with John Lasseter's over there.
Right, and now you have all the uptick in you know, anime.
Yeah.
And all that's now more popular than it was in years.
It was for the longest time that Disney was pretty much the only game in town, with DreamWorks lagging pretty far behind for the most part, unless it was Shrek. And now Universal is kicking their ass in the theme parks, and they're kicking their ass in animation.
Wait till the you know, Super Nintendo World opens in Hollywood, and then Epic Universe in Florida, and they're kicking your butt, dude. It's funny to me because you remember all those movies they would do that were knockoffs of Disney films, and they put them on animated. You get like a dollar store. That's what this reminds me of. It's like Disney has become the knockoff animated, you know, ones that no one wanted.
Of themselves.
Of themselves, yes.
It's they become.
Everybody's doing Disney better than Disney.
Pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much it. Just in general, just everybody is doing Disney better than Disney's doing it, and they've lost. And I'm sorry, Bob Iger cannot turn it around if he had, and he started a lot of the problems. He can't turn around in 2 years. It's
well,
not
I'm
gonna
sorry,
happen.
losing Lasseter was a big hit.
That was a big hit. You look at all these movies that they're rattling off here, and John Lasseter was involved in all of them. So I don't know, guys. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.